Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to day number 40. It is April the 4th. Unbelievable. We've been doing this since February the 24th, and we're not going to stop. Thank you for being here tonight. Much better day today than yesterday, although the situations haven't changed, but had some time to process. We've worked through quite a few things. Been with Zhenya and working on stuff today. We're working on stuff with our guys there in Ukraine. Also was able to get out today and just take a break and step away for a minute, and had lunch at Bob Evans. Well, late lunch. We had a dunch or a dinner in between. I guess you're getting older and going to the early bird at Bob Evans. What's up, Nathan Fody, Heather Chido? Also want to give a big shout out to all the IA guys in here. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. Wilberforce, so I appreciate you, man, sharing all the time, and Likey sharing, subscribing, praying, and Medic Trevor. See, you got your kiddo down, and of course, Beardy Day. What a great name. I do want John McElvey, Alabama. I see you there. I want to give a big shout out to Julia Augustine. I haven't seen you in a little while, but Julia is a content provider for my program. She is one of my researchers. So thank you. Nice to see you there, Julia. There is your shout out. Mary Preston, bless you tonight out there in Rio Vista, California. So folks, we've got a full night and a lot to get to. But tonight is going to be a better night. Shirley Phelps, Washington State. John McElvey, and you didn't invite me. Where am I going to invite you? John, you're always invited. Tonight, Blanchard, Oklahoma. I like it. Blanchard, Oklahoma. Where on earth is Blanchard, Oklahoma? I know Oklahoma City. That's about it. Tonight's going to be a lot different. Look at you guys dropping the language out here. Love it. Rogam, Midlothian, Virginia. That's Metro Richmond. So let's get to it. Going to be a much better night. The processing is done. We're going to have some smiles tonight. I'm going to leave you with a smile. I'm going to start you with a smile. We have a lot that we are going to... did invite you to Bob Evans. Okay, I got you. All right, you're invited, John McElvey, to Bob Evans next time. So, for the next 51 minutes, going to be brighter. Got a lot of stuff to share. I've got stuff from President Zelensky. I've got stuff from Europe. I got Zelensky's response. I got the update on Mariupol. I've got the update on the war in the East, update on Mykolaiv, lots of things. And you're not going to believe the madness coming out of Russia. Well, maybe you will, but it's not hearsay. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. I've got some different videos to update it. But we're going to start with the smile. We're going to start with a smile tonight. How many of you remember when the war started and you were here with me from the beginning? I showed probably a month ago, I showed a video of a kid that was doing all the Rubik's Cubes, and he took all these Rubik's Cubes and made an art painting out of them, with the face of President Zelensky to thank him for what he was doing to lead the country. And I told you guys, I knew that kid. I found the video. Zhenya and I and Andrei Rodin were in Orodik. We were in Kyiv, right near where a lot of the bombings and missile attacks have happened. And that is where I met that kid. So if you remember that, I have a video from a few years ago. You're going to see that kid, and we're going to start with a smile tonight. Then we're going to go to Zhenya, and then we're going to get into the other stuff that is prepared. Here's the kid that made that Rubik's Cube. I told you I knew that kid. Here he is. This is my friend Dima. I just met in Kiev, Ukraine, and he has a Rubik's Cube. I told him when I was a little kid, I used to do it and couldn't figure it out. He told me he's a professional.
Something about Ukrainians, okay?
Yeah.
Come on.
This is real Ukraine, man. This is why I love Ukraine.
Давай, поехали, отстаивай честь.
15 seconds. Welcome to Ukraine. When I tell you I met that kid, I'm telling you I met that kid. That's the kid that made the artwork for President Zelensky. So let's get to it tonight. We're going to start with, you think that's a young looking, you wait till I'm going to show you the smile at the end. Let's go to Zhenya. Zhenya and I were talking. Zinkster, you beast mode. He can do it in 30 seconds. Legend. But can you make a picture of President Zelensky? Just checking. I'm not putting it past you. I'm sure you can. Here we go. We're going to go straight to Zhenya now. I've got a full hour, so I want to make sure I get to everything. And let me cue that up. Here we go. By the way, I'm recording you. Good morning.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sitting wrong, you know?
You are.
Okay.
Let's go take two.
Okay.
Take two. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Good morning, Pastor Greg. Thank you very much.
Look,
Doing great.
blue and yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. You are the bacon. Yeah.
You're the bacon to my eggs.
Yeah.
We're partners, buddy.
Okay.
Well, I think we're both doing better today. We've had time to process, and it doesn't change, but we can see the title of the program tonight is the War Rotates East and South. And I know it's been pretty tough in the East and the South the last 24 hours. And when I was looking, it looks like quite a bit today. There were air raid signals throughout the entire country, but some of our regions like Mykolaiv, Odessa, I'm going to talk about Kremenchuk tonight. I'm going to talk about the fuel supply. And, you know, these places are being hit hard. It's obvious to see a rotation. What's very interesting is this afternoon I watched a documentary on the history of Russia and Ukraine. But I'm talking ancient history.
What period?
Ancient.
Ancient?
Ancient. But it was interesting for me because when Russia was conquered by the Tatars back in ancient history, the Tatars came in around Moscow and Novgorod and destroyed it. Then they pulled back. They regrouped, and then, dude, they like a vacuum cleaner through Russia. And I was watching it, and I'm not saying that's what's happening now. We're going to win the war. But, wow, the concept is similar. How Russia came in, did all this damage, now rotated back around, and it looks like here they come. We'll see, you know, but it looks like history is going to try to repeat itself. But it's not. We're going to win the war.
Yes, absolutely. I had no doubts.
No doubts.
About winning the war.
No doubts. Well, I'll tell you what else. There's no doubts now. Ukraine's not going to agree to some crazy peace agreement. Not happening. Going to defend the territory and going to,
yes.
You know, as Christians, we don't always use the words revenge and vengeance. You know, those are things that are left to God. But, you know, the Ukrainians, they're just saying every person that has lost their life, it's not going to be forgotten and it's going to be paid for.
Yes, and this is now it's a principal position
Correct.
that these people are not died for nothing.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to say. These people have not died for nothing, and that really changes. It doesn't change what we already knew, but it changes as far as the world's viewpoint. Because you know as well as I know that most nations were just hoping, get some kind of peace agreement and Putin go home and Zelensky go home, and not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Just a second.
Sure.
Okay. You were mentioning last night the brother and minister.
Yes.
From the church. Did you mean this one?
Yeah, that's him.
It's a youth leader.
Yes.
In the church of Irpin.
Yes. I've met him quite a few times. They're connected to Reshetinsky, and a lot of those churches are connected up there. But I've met that guy many, many times. That's why. Yeah, that's him. That's him.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a
More
tough
than that. It's
tough day. But we're digesting. After the program last night, you and I stayed on and we talked for a while and processed it. You were telling me how that it makes you even want to just go somewhere and fight and help defend your land. But you're fighting by facilitating the ministry there God has called you to. And we even talked about it last night. In the group that you're responsible for, that we're partnered with, you're the leader. You're the leader, and you're strong. But it was still a very difficult day for you being strong, and it kind of made you realize that you need to check on your team. You know, lots of people in their 20s, early 30s are serving in the ministry, and you being very experienced, if it was affecting you this way, how is it affecting the other members of our team? So are they doing better today? Are you able to focus on them or give them a break?
I mean, no, everyone is focused. Everyone is in a good shape, I would say. Good condition, good mood, and we it's probably hard to explain, but it's like we just going through that and just processing it, realizing you feel the pain, but there is other side. Yesterday we were meeting the people, we're helping them, and it's a part of that ministry. When you receiving, you're meeting people who just arrived in unknown place, unknown city, and basically they were evacuated straight from railway station, and nobody was explaining them where they going to. Some representative of like city office going there asking, hey, who needs accommodation? So please come to that bus. So people coming to the bus, then this bus takes them to other Christian center and to other places, for sure, the other buses. And then when they are entering, some of them confused, some of them happy that they find that they got to some place where they can eat, have sleep and get a shower. And some of them are stressed that there is no rooms, it is not hotel, and and some of them, when they realize that they finally got to the place of destination, at least at this moment of their trip, they being registered, they heard all the instruction and the rules in our place, and they then some of them starting crying. When you're asking them, hey, what's going on? What's wrong now? They ask. they explained that, hey, okay, we're here, but what is the next step we need to do? Should we live here? For how long? Will it be possible to find a job? Where we can get the money? And so on, etc., etc. And you need just to spend time with them.
These people
yes,
are lost.
yes, and
They don't.
it was yesterday that hard day, tough day, and today we getting back to them,
Yes.
encouraging them, and they much better today.
Good.
And when you continue encouraging them, how was your sleep? What about your breakfast? Did the guys treat you well? And the care. Do you feel the love in here and acceptance? They they telling this feedback, and yeah, thank you very much. We're fine. Our kids, no stress anymore. They're happy, and it's just changing everything. But it's one side, and we continue to serve. We realize our limits from one side. From other side, we see that we can make a difference.
Well,
Do something.
Two things. Think about this. Some of these families that are finally making it to you as refugees, Zhenya, the program tonight is program number 40. Some of these people have been for weeks and weeks and weeks unable to have anything normal. This is not like day 7. This is day 40. So it's been a long time for a lot of these people. Now, you told me earlier that you received, and we'll just tell this in general tonight so people can pray, but you did receive a refugee whose son has been kidnapped.
Captivated.
Yeah. Taken captive.
He was a soldier, taken captive.
Oh, prisoner of war.
It's not. Yes,
Prisoner of
it's
war.
not. He is a prisoner of war. He was a soldier
Okay.
on contract, and he being captive. Yes, and
He's been held captive.
yes, and mother was trying to reach him by sending him messages, but in that area, it's let's say edge on the east, the real on a conflict zone and not just conflict, war zone, and there were no internet coverage, so there were, and she was trying to reach, not possible, day by day, and she was continuing sending messages like, I will try.
So
Yes, I will it was like this. I will not it was like this. You see the red? It means not delivered.
okay.
And then she got the answer. Your son being captive. And she could read it just 10 days later after it was sent.
Wait a second.
When she got
This
okay.
mom has a son who's a soldier, trying to communicate with him, knowing he's in the war zone. She sends a message. She hears nothing for 10 days. 10 days later, she gets a message, not from her son, but from somebody saying, your son is being held
From
captive.
the son's phone.
From the phone.
From the
they have
son's
his phone.
Yes. And
He's still a
and
POW.
it was sent, and it was sent 10 days before.
But
He
it just arrived.
couldn't get it in time,
Got it.
and
Okay.
and so we just realized it tonight. Our guys sent me information that here's the situation. So immediately I had to leave everything at home. I left there. I called to some services, asked some advices what to do, and we started to work this process. and because she didn't know what to do, which steps she needs to do, the work to call, and so on, so on. So we did everything we could for tonight. So she has a plan for tomorrow.
Okay.
It's already involved some services for helping her, and we doing, and his name the same as my name.
Gotcha.
That's it's. That's all I can tell. His name Zhenya. So we'll pray for it, and we'll pray for him. We'll pray.
What's
for
the
her.
mom? What's the mom's? Do you remember the mom's first name?
Yes, Luda.
Luda. So we need to pray for Luda, the mother, and Zhenya, the son, who's a Ukrainian military guy that is a POW. That's the short way to say it for us, a prisoner of war. POW.
Okay, POW. Okay,
POW.
Thank you for teaching me English.
You're welcome. Thank you
you.
for teaching me Ukrainian. Дякую.
Okay, so good day. I mean,
Good.
there is a lot of good things. We were communicating. I was happy to see. By the way, I've sent you a short video where the kids are playing right there in the shelter one. I mean, they forgot about anything, and I was asking some interview and taking some interview from kids, and I mean, it's encouraging that we help them. It's a big change, you know. You see the picture from yesterday, and you compare with the picture, what condition the kids are today. It's really helped. And
Well, we're 7:30 Eastern, 2:30 Ukraine, so it's 90 minutes before I go live. So folks will be seeing this in 90 minutes, and I know they'll be very happy to see you and I not crying tonight, but refocused, re-energized, and ready to continue what we're doing. That's right. Anything else you want to say tonight? You need to get some rest, and you got a big day ahead, I know. So
it's encouraging that so many people are not just watching, being participated to fight, let's say, against of aggression, to fight against of people being thrown out without help. So it's encouraging that we are not alone. All the churches, and by the way, no conflicts between churches. We communicate as one team, as one body, and we represent Christ. This is important, and we serve people. This is important.
Amen.
The rest is not interested right now.
You know
no
what?
conflicts, no walls. That's it.
we're doing much better today.
Yeah.
And hey, we're going to continue. And it is in the ugliness of the war, it's beautiful how the body of Christ comes together. But not only that, not only the body of Christ, around this world, there are a lot of just good human beings that are coming together and doing whatever they can to help. And we will continue. We will set the example. And, these updates pretty much each day, if you're not live, I get a 10-minute clip or something of that nature, and we get an update. I'm going to be talking about the rotation of the war. I'm going to be talking about those things. But this is where I wanted to start tonight. And thank you, man.
Yeah. One more.
Sure.
I just calculated that during that period of servicing and helping people, we already communicated and somehow cooperated with minimum 8-9 churches.
Beautiful.
By
all working
helping
together.
People, yes, getting some information, asking other church to meet people, and so on. Recommending this church has a free space. You can send people there, and so on. That's great.
You have to add one number to that, because when you went to the Polish border to pick up stuff, and you were late coming back, and you were flying like Superman in your van, You had to go through Ternopil, and you decided to go ahead and come and beat the curfew. And I asked you, I said, do you know somebody in Ternopil to stay with?
Yeah.
I said, I do. And
Fair enough.
fair enough. So if you would have been stuck in Ternopil, I would have taken care of you all the way from Pennsylvania.
Oh. Yes, that's right. That's right.
You know, when I'm there next, I'll take you to Ternopil and show you around the city, introduce you to my friends.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
All right, buddy.
Okay, brothers and sisters, warm greetings from Ukraine. Thank you for allowing and staying with us, and for your prayer, and for sharing, for speaking up about the truth about Ukraine. And that's it. One team, one body.
Amen. You can't do a thumbs
Amen.
up to this crew. You've already built your little logo on the way out. Serca.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Okay. Love you.
There you have it, folks. That is the update from just 90 minutes ago. He's sleeping now, I'm sure. He got a big day tomorrow helping that lady with the POW's son. Now, I saw some questions coming in while Zhenya was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt that, but the question was, can the Red Cross help with the POW? Folks, right now, just going to tell you the truth, Ukraine does not trust the International Red Cross. The International Red Cross in the East has been taking Ukrainian citizens to Russia. They do not trust the Red Cross. They're off the list. Amnesty International, I'm not sure about. Once again, you have to remember, it's just the culture is so different, systems in place, but Zhenya will be all over it, you know, but when it comes down to it, folks, there's not much we can really do with a prisoner of war. But they will do everything they can. And of course, we'll keep you updated on that. Now, I want to get right to it. And PK, I did see your question about Slavuch and Chernihiv. I will update that in just a moment with the map. So here, folks, and this is, let me go bigger for you guys. Prisoners of war. Let's talk about prisoners of war for a second. This is a group of lady soldiers that was returned today. And you can see their heads were shaved. They've been prisoners of war for a few weeks. There was an exchange, and Russian soldiers were given back to Russia. You guys know how war works, and Ukrainian soldiers were returned. This entire group of lady soldiers were POWs, head shaved. They look a touch gaunt, but they are now back safe in Ukraine. And if you see the lady standing there, that's with Verachuk, the lady that is responsible for the government for the humanitarian aid and the humanitarian corridors and taking care of the people side of the war. So they're there with her, and those POWs are back. That happened. Now, I want to jump on and give a big shout out to Meadville, Pennsylvania. You can see Flicks TV and Appliance. They have the Ukrainian heart out there. So a big thank you to those guys there in Meadville. Now, today, even though we're having a rotation out, the air assaults continued. In fact, right before I went on the air, there were more air attacks. Is Amnesty International involved? I do not have any idea, but I've written it down and I'll find out. Air attacks today happened in Volyn, in the upper left, in Rivne, and I'm going from left to right. Bila Cerkva, which is translated White Church, then Kremenchuk, Kharkov, Kramatorsk, Zaporozhye, Dnepr, Mykolaiv, and Odessa. Two of the places we're specifically going to talk about is Kremenchuk and Odessa. But right before I went on the air, heavy air attacks were happening in Sumy as well. But I had everything ready to go. So you could add another purple there. So even with the rotation, you can see if I had the purple, and you guys know where Sumy is now, straight up above Kremenchuk, and Kharkiv to the left, you would see that little northern zone there of Chernobyl, of Chernihiv, of Slavuch. They're just leaving it alone right now because, folks, there's nothing left. In fact, I'm going to show you guys something right now that I received a couple of days ago. So the Russian military left Chernobyl, and you guys can see Chernobyl, and I will remind you where it's at. Let me go over here, and let's just zoom in here. Let's put Kyiv at the very bottom here. Here's the Ukrainian border, and that's actually Belarus. Here is Kyiv. Here's Bucha in Irpin. Slavuch is here. Chernihiv is here. And Chernobyl is here. Okay? And the Russian military left Chernobyl. They went back to Belarus, and what they're doing is, I've got to move that. What they're doing is they're rotating. In fact, I've got documentation for that. I'll show you guys in just a moment. But they are rotating out, and they're just coming back around to Kharkiv right now. But they were so afraid when their soldiers began to get sick. Now, we already have confirmed one Russian soldier is dead from radiation poisoning in Chernobyl. We also have the data that over 40 soldiers are extremely sick in a hospital in Belarus, in a military hospital in Belarus. And everybody that was infected that was there serving the Russian military, and of course, you know, they took the Ukrainian military with them back to Russia. So not only did they stir up the dust, destroy the northern suburbs of Kyiv, they also made that zone extremely dangerous again. But then when the reality began to sink in, they left. I have video of some Ukrainian soldiers coming up on the river. You see this waterway right here, guys? Let me zoom in for you. I'm telling you, you're going to get real data tonight. Right here. Chernobyl's here. They went back this way to Belarus. And you see this river right here? Okay. This is where they went back into Belarus. Folks, they left everything at the river and swam across the river. The fear of the radiation. Here's all I can say. I can't confirm it, but they must be sick. You have to remember, Chernobyl is brutally dangerous still. But this is how they left. Ukrainian soldiers looking through the Russian military equipment, bags, stuff they had looted. There's liquor, iPads. Listen, Ukrainian money, 3,000 hryvnia. They left everything at the river. Now, just what? When I say everything, I mean everything. And they went across the river back to Russia. Every helmet, every uniform.
Завойовану, блядь, освобожденную, блядь, у місцевого населення. І повтікала. І повтікала. Армія освободителей.
Guns. They took everything, dropped it on the riverbank,
армія освободителей? Від себе
and
особисто
swam
дякуємо
across the river,
за те,
leaving
що
Chernobyl.
Збройні сили України добавилась новітня їхня зброя. Ти що собі
Why,
скажеш?
Shirley?
Дякую за, блядь.
The radiation
Значить,
scared the
розвідувальний
snot out of
взвод
them. They
треба
left every piece
переформатовувати
of
розвідувальну
clothing.
роту нашого батальйона. Амуніції, зброї нам вистачає.
Is it all
Слава
radioactive?
Україні.
Absolutely. Absolutely, is it all radioactive? Folks, let me just show you this in case you do not know. And this is no joke. I wish if Zhenya was on here, he'd tell you. Folks, let me just show you something here. Let's go gold with this. But this region around Chernobyl, right here, is a dead zone. The only people that can live inside here have signed a document for the Ukrainian government saying, we know the risk of living in this zone. We're old people and we're going to live here. Folks, the trees stay red and orange. The ground is completely infected. It's extremely dangerous. And when you come to the outskirts of Chernobyl, all the radioactive signs are there, where you're not to cross the boundaries. You're not to touch the soil. You're not to disturb anything. And if you look at the map, folks, here is the town of Slavuch that's been dominated. And here's Chernobyl. So they still have to have scientists and engineers to work at that to protect the sarcophagus. But they do not live in Chernobyl. They live in Slavuch and come to Chernobyl. This is how dangerous Chernobyl is. They dropped everything. The reality is the fear hit them. They're not taking anything that considered to be radioactive back across other than their bodies. So just an update there. And I mean, that's the real deal of what's happening there. So lots of air attacks. Couple I want to talk about specifically. Mykolaiv, this is the government building I was showing you the other day in Mykolaiv. Today, Mykolaiv was hit extremely hard. Today. Mykolaiv, and this is the city down south. I'll show you in a minute, Mykolaiv. But today, just today, one regional hospital destroyed, one city hospital destroyed, one medical center for preventative diseases destroyed, one children's orphanage home destroyed, 11 kindergartens destroyed, 12 schools destroyed, one vocational school destroyed, 2 branches of institutions of higher education destroyed, 10 people confirmed killed, 46 confirmed injured and wounded, the rest under the rubble we do not know about. That is Mykolaiv today. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Mariupol. For the update on Mariupol, there are still 130,000 people trapped in Mariupol. Last couple of days, you see on the bottom left there, a new mayor. The Russian government, Russian military, with the help of the Chechens, is already putting in a fake government, even though the Azov regiment has not surrendered the city. Ukraine has not surrendered Mariupol. It's still Ukraine, but a new mayor and a fake government is already being in place, and there is still 130,000 people trapped. I have video of President Zelensky in Bucha today when he came out from viewing some of the things I showed you last night. He made a statement about Mariupol.
Пане президенте, одне запитання, будь ласка, скажіть, які в нас є реалістичні сценарії порятунку Маріуполя? Українська правда, будь ласка.
Доброго дня.
The reporter asked him, President Zelensky, what are the realistic outlooks for Mariupol? He then greeted her politely and said, good afternoon.
Займаємось підтримкою хлопців. Їм дуже складно. Знаходимось на зв'язку. Скажу чесно, знаходимось на зв'язку. І я, і главку, в принципі, щоденно.
What are you asking?
Говоримо про посередництво саме в цій місії з Туреччини. Не просто.
He then replied that the situation in Mariupol, he was unable to comment on it, that possibly Turkey could get involved and help negotiate a situation for Mariupol. But it's in very, very bad shape. Yeah, Eric Wilson, I see that. You know what, Camper Bill? You're right, buddy. God will remake Chernobyl in the new earth, and it will be a most beautiful place. And I can tell you, man, Ukraine is such a beautiful place. Sasha used to live here in Pennsylvania, now lives in Florida. He's a Ukrainian immigrant that has worked with us and my very dear friend. His nephew, that's correct, Eric, is in the army serving in Mykolaiv. He's in a very, very, very dangerous place right now. So that's Mariupol. Now, right before, actually, it was right after Zhenya and I were speaking last night, Odessa and Kremenchuk. So these places were hit about 24 hours ago. They were hit extremely hard and tactical. In Odessa, refineries were the targets for fuel. In Kremenchuk, refineries were the target. They were destroyed. Fact. Kremenchuk and Odessa, the refineries, are responsible for about 38 to 40% of the refining power that Ukraine has for refining its fuels. 38 to 40% is now destroyed and offline. Why is that a big deal? The Black Sea is also completely blockaded. Yes, it's logical. Russia is trying to fuel starve Ukraine now. No fuel, you can't roll. And Russia's having the same issues. Of course, with the weather changing, the ground is very soft. The ground is so fertile and beautiful in Ukraine. It's very soft until it gets harder in the spring and summer. But right now, the Black Sea, the Sea of Azov, is completely blockaded, and 38 to 40% of Ukraine's refining power is gone. PK, you asked earlier about Slavuch and Chernigiv. The Russian military has left Slavuch and they have left Chernigiv. They just destroyed it and left. Same thing they did in Bucha, same thing they did in Irpin, same thing they're doing in the Chernobyl region, same thing they did in Zhytomyr region. They destroyed it and left. They're all rotating around, heading to the east and to the north. They're coming into Sumy, and Kharkiv is the next major target, according to the general staff. And I'll show you that in a moment. Intelligence update. Russian forces, and here you go, are continuing to consolidate and reorganize as they refocus their offensive into the Donbass region in the east of Ukraine. Russian troops, including mercenaries from the Russian state-linked Wagner private military company, are being moved into the area. And I remind you guys, the Wagners, they're bad boys. They're mercenaries. They're good soldiers. They're very well known globally. Picture right here, folks. This was Zelensky right prior to the war on the left. This is 40 days later. "40 days of war." I saw in the chat earlier, man, I hadn't heard about them leaving Chernobyl. I'm blown away. Medic Trevor, that's why you come here each evening, man. I'll tell you the truth, brother. And I'll even show you the video to prove it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good when I'm supplying truth and information that nobody else is telling. And it's good. Tomorrow, Zelensky is going to speak to the UN. Just amazing, the difference in his face, literally, folks, in 40 days. And today he did make a speech. He made, not a speech, but he made comments in Bucha, basically the same things we've been talking about, and it was unacceptable. The threats that we did it to ourselves is a joke, and we will fight to defend our homeland. This is our territory, and the game has changed. That is President Zelensky. Now, in response to all of the Bucha, the stuff I showed you, Irpin, and listen, folks, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you think Bucha is bad and Irpin, just wait till we get into Mariupol. There is no telling what has happened in Mariupol. Because not only is the Russian military doing what they're doing, but folks, the Chechens are there, partnered with the Russians. They're terrorists. We shall see. Lavrov, the foreign minister, today officially accused Ukraine of the stage-managed provocation. Russia's foreign minister, he dismissed every accusation that Russia and Russian forces have done these war crimes and atrocities, and he declared that Ukraine did it to themselves. Not only that, the UN, the Russian ambassador to the UN, declared today in a speech to the UN, no civilians were harmed in Bucha. We didn't touch any civilian in Bucha. Ukraine has done it to themselves, and they're giving the blame to us. And as well, so you have Lavrov, you have the UN, the Russian ambassador to the UN, and you have Peskov. You're learning all these guys now. Peskov, he's the spokesman for Putin. He's the spokesman for the Kremlin. The Kremlin has categorically denied any accusations related to the murder of civilians in the Ukrainian town of Bucha. That, if you were waiting for the response from Russia, you now have had it from the Kremlin, from the foreign minister, and from the ambassador to the UN. These people have lost their mind. Now things start to unfold even deeper. Lithuania today asked the ambassador to Russia to leave. This relationship between the Baltic states, which is Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, has broken down completely. They turned off the gas, no more gas, and now they're kicking out diplomats. In addition to that, just this afternoon, France kicked out the Russian diplomats. Folks, they're getting kicked out left and right in all these nations, and all it's doing is stirring the pot. Now, Russia's going to come back and say, this is all accusations against us, all false. We have to defend ourselves. It's all the game. But unfortunately, in the game, Ukraine is being demolished. Richard Moore, you're probably not going to know this guy, but this is the chief of MI6. And maybe you're there tonight and you're going, okay, what's MI6? MI6 is the British Secret Service, the British intelligence agency. Some of the best operatives in the world. They work with the CIA. I know all the movies and all the stuff. Forget all that right now. These are bad boys in MI6. Well, a deputy who switched from Ukraine to Russia came out today. I'll play you a little bit and I'll translate it.
Люди, ну вы что, действительно отупели? Я читаю комментарии, у меня просто слов нет. Еще раз вам говорю. Официальная информация. Вся история у нас была заранее спланирована и подготовлена контрразведкой Украины. А спланирована она была разведкой Ми-6. Они же приехали рано утром, оцепили.
Did y'all catch it? That cat just accused MI6 of going to Bucha, going to Irpin, killing everybody, staging it, assassinating, laying them out on the roads, and blamed it on the British Secret Service. That is why you see the tweet, Richard Moore, chief at the MI6, we knew Putin's invasion plans included summary executions by his military and intelligence services. The reports of execution-style killings of civilians emerging from liberated areas are horrifying and chilling. He responded. Andrzej Duda, who is this guy on the right? You're learning all these people. He's the president of Poland. This was his response. Criminals must be called criminals, brought to justice and sentenced. Pictures from Bucha disprove the belief that we have to seek a compromise at any cost. Let me repeat that for you. Jason Sterling, I see your question. I'll answer in just a second. Listen to that one more time. This is what Zelensky said today. This is what Zhenya said today. Pictures from Bucha disprove the belief that we have to seek a compromise at any cost. Folks, no compromise now. In fact, the defenders of Ukraine need three things above all. Folks, this is not some low-level government person from Madagascar. And nothing against Madagascar. This is not some House of Representatives member from Sacramento County. This is the president of Poland, the nation that could potentially be invaded next, who has closed their border with Russia, stating the defenders of Ukraine need three things: weapons, weapons, and more weapons. That is the president of Poland. Talking about a game changer? The United States today moved 8 F-16s to Bulgaria. The United States moved 8 F-16s to Bulgaria. Folks, it's getting interesting. JDO, that's a good response there. So let's see. I want to answer that question here. Pastor Greg, how important is Odessa to Russia being able to access the Mediterranean Sea? So it's not vital, but it's vital for shutting off. Let's go to the map. It's vital for shutting off everything else for Ukraine. I'll show you here. So first of all, just remember, Russia has access to the sea all through here, but you have to remember something. When I go there, that freezes in the winter. They have access right here in the Baltic, but that freezes. It's very, very rough in the winter. They have access right here in Kaliningrad. But that right now, Poland has said they need to take it back. So their best access to the Mediterranean is exactly that, which is the Sea of Azov, and then over to Odessa, down through Turkey and out. But as JDO said, brother, he's spot on. When this area right here, this strait in Turkey, becomes a focus, I say this politely and respectfully, all hell will break loose. That area right there is like gold for travel, for national work, for shipping, for money, for everything, for control. If that becomes a problem, yeah, it will change the game instantly. Which countries have sanctioned Russia? This is very interesting, and then I'm going to make you smile on the way out tonight. Turkey's on the wrong side of the Bible in Ezekiel 38. Yes, that you are. They're in the highway. Which countries have sanctioned Russia? So I want you to see this. Of course, the United States, all of Europe, and Australia. Make it a little bigger for you. But folks, do you see who Russia can still do business with? Mexico, basically all of South America, all of Africa, all of the Middle East, India, all of the Southeast Asian islands, all of China. You see, it's why I keep coming back to the fact that sanctions aren't the answer, especially after what we've seen with Bucha, and it's everywhere else in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin must be defeated. And the world is seeing that more and more and more. I'm going to I'm going to ask you to smile on the way out. I want to thank you for your continued support. We nailed it on the hour tonight. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for your liking, sharing, commenting. Thank you to all the IA guys jumping in here. Thank you for being a part. All the chatting, the questions, talking back and forth, supporting, showing the love. As I remind you, Ukrainians watch this in just a few hours. That's when they start watching it. And thank you for being here. I want tonight, last night was tough, guys, but you can see the atmosphere is different. We've processed and we're going forward fighting the battle. But I want you to go out with a smile tonight. We started with my Rubik's Cube friend, but we are going out tonight. What was Jason Sterling's question? It was about the importance of the access through the Black Sea through Turkey for access to the Mediterranean Sea. So it's a vital area of the world. So how about a smile? I pulled this out of the vault, and I just want you to have a peek into the Ukrainian character. This is about 45 seconds. And this little girl I'm talking to is probably now 15, 16, 17 years old. She's a little girl here, and we're talking about getting something to eat, and we're just having a conversation. So tonight, when you pray for Ukraine tomorrow, and you see the children that have been killed, and you see the someone translate your show to them. I don't know. Lots of them speak English, actually. Not high-level English, but enough. What's more important is they see the hearts and the comments and the love. And they just like it, knowing we're supporting them. When you see about the children being killed and the kids being accused of, being Nazis, folks, let me show you a normal Ukrainian child tonight. And this is my little friend, Valeria Beskarovania.
Как вас зовут?
Валерия.
Валерия, да. Слушай, на улице холодно.
Холодно.
Очень.
Очень.
Is it cold
Да.
outside?
Слушай, голодный?
Голодная.
Ты голодный?
Are you
Да.
hungry?
Да, мы будем кушать?
Будем.
Хорошо. Что ты думаешь? Что ты хочешь?
What should we
Я
eat?
сам что не знаю.
Да, не знаешь?
I don't know.
Слушай, любишь пельмени?
О, да.
Да? И сметану?
Pelmeni, whatever that is.
Может быть, мы будем пельмени со сметаной?
Oh, maybe we can eat that with sour cream.
Будет круто, да?
Ага.
Ага. Я очень рад, ты с нами.
I'm so glad you're with me.
Слушай, что это мой имя, зовут?
What is my name?
Грек.
Дядя Гриша.
Greg.
Ага.
Дядя.
Greg.
Ага.
Ага, хорошо. Окей, я очень люблю тебя.
I love you very much.
А я тебя понимаешь меня. Вот. Ву-ху. Спокойной ночи.
Спокойной ночи.
До свидания.
До свидания.
If you ever wondered what real Ukraine's about, don't believe the junk you see. That's the truth right there. We'll see you in 23 hours for the next update. We love you. God bless you, and God bless Ukraine. Good night.